You are listening to Balloon Killers. I'm your host, Chrissy Riley, and each episode I'll be talking to someone from the world of cowboy mounted shooting, which is one of the most exciting and fastest growing equestrian sports. Hold on to your hats because it's going to get western. Hi friends, I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing something a little bit different today because I'm recording on location at a shoot in Lusk, Wyoming, and there's a crazy storm going on right now, so we all scattered back to our trailers after awards, and I thought, you know what, this would be the perfect time to record a podcast. So if you can hear that hum in the background, that would be my generator. Apologies for that. I'm here in Lusk, Wyoming for the Wyoming State Finals, and I was lucky enough to get a last-minute spot in the coveted guns, cans, and cattle competition today, which was a ton of fun, let me tell you. And I know, I've said this about so many shoots now, but if you haven't made it to the guns, cans, and cattle shoot in Lusk, Wyoming, I would highly recommend it, because even though I pretty much donated my money today because Mr. Bear definitely is not any kind of barrel racing horse or any kind of cow horse, we just had so much fun and it was a great experience to get under his belt, and he handled it like a champ, particularly the cattle part. We do have steers at home, but this morning when we were warming up in the arena, he was super watchy of the steers that were in the pens around the arena. So I really didn't know how the sorting part was going to go, but he was pretty much unconcerned when we went out there. So I'm calling that a win, even though we didn't actually sort our steer. Anyways, you probably didn't come here to hear about the mundanities of my shooting life, so I'm going to move on to my guest for this episode. She was the 2023 Winter Championships overall lady. Jessie Johnson has been the Wyoming State overall champion 6 times, the Idaho State champion 3 times, the Oregon State champion 3 times, and the Northwest Mountain Regional 3 times. She is such an accomplished shooter. She's also a super busy lady because she's the owner of Hot Shot Horsemanship and the founder of Hot Shot Mounted Shooters, a brand new club in her area of the country.
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. It's pretty early for you over there, right?
It is. I got up at 6 this morning to get horses done. I wanted to be wide awake.
Whereabouts are you located?
We're up in Selah, Washington, way up in the corner of the country.
Well, how long have you been mounted shooting and how did you get into it?
So I started shooting in 2013. I had a friend that started mounted shooting when she was like 2004. We were both in 4th, 5th grade, and she was training under Kendall Lonsane when Kendall lived up here in Ellensburg. And that was Christina Flint, and she lives in Arizona. I kind of got started under those two. Oh, well, Christina, and then I got started under a lady who's local. Her name's Tara Baraman, and she got me started. I had a horse that took to gunfire in like 1 second. I went the next day to a jackpot she was putting on, and I just decided to do time onlys. My horse did fabulous. I shot maybe 3 out of the 10 balloons. I was awful. I was horrible, but I had fun and I was addicted. And Christina had all these beautiful holsters, these beautiful chinks. She had all the getup, and she kind of just handed it all over to me. She handed me her horse Sugar, who Sugar is now retired, but she has carried a lot of mounted shooters to the finish line. And she did very well for me. She set me up for success my very first year. And then I got on Callie, and that's the horse I have now. And she did not care for the sport whatsoever. It took me a while. And usually, you know what I find out as a trainer, it takes a while for the good ones to settle into the sport. Sometimes the tough ones are going to turn out to be the best ones, you know.
Mm-hmm. So anyone listening, I want you to take note of that, because I know I've seen quite a few new shooters coming in recently and they've said, you know, this feels impossible, yet it's their first shoot, second shoot.
Yes.
Just be patient, just stick with it.
And sometimes it's like a year of patience. Sometimes it's 2 years of patience. That's one of the biggest things I tell these new people who come in. They don't see the potential in their horse just yet because they're a new shooter, but we try and give horses a while. I had a horse in training She took 2 years, and now she's kicking tush with the senior men's six classes, and that's Rob Boucher's horse Foxy. And she took a long time, but she finally took to it. Every horse is different. Some horses, it's very frustrating because some take to it in 2 seconds, and people are like, "What the heck? Why can't I have a horse like that?" But that horse might be slower minded, right? You might have the horse you're on that doesn't take to it right away might be, ready to go balls to the wall, and it all just depends on the caliber of the horse. But the thing about my program is horsemanship to me is one of the biggest things. And I think in this sport, horsemanship is like number one. Because if you don't have good, a good bond, a good horsemanship trust with your horse, how are you going to do a pattern? How are you going to do six patterns, right? In a main match?
You have a pretty interesting background from what I've heard. So, what was your background with horses and or guns before mounted shooting?
I started back in the day, I did 10 years of 4-H. And then I did dressage, and I loved dressage. I think dressage gave me a really good foundation of horses and buttons and skill and technique, but in a completely different way, right? So I did a little bit of dabbling in rodeo. That was all right. I did barrel racing for a little bit. That was fun. I had a horse who loved barrels. She had a gait issue. She didn't want to go in the gate. I bought her that way. And we ended up getting her down the road. But she taught me a lot. But shooting is kind of where I found my niche. I really loved it. I wish I'd started it when I was asked in 2004. Remember when I just had told you that? But at the same time, I have to like tell myself, well, where would I be without my 4-H foundation? Where would I be without my dressage foundation? So that's also kind of the recipe that I have in my training program, right? So like the first 30 days I do, it's all foundational work. You need to have a horse that neck reins good, stays between your legs, moves off of leg pressure, is light in the face, like all these things because we're shooting with our other hand. So I actually am really grateful for all of that experience because that's kind of shaped me into my program. Technically, it's shaped my program. So I'm really grateful for all of that experience. I still do a little bit of English writing. I love it. I have a hard time putting the English saddle away, but it's also a little fun to change it up. Jumping was one of my favorite things I did. I think it's important to have, especially if you're a trainer, like have these different tools in your belt, right? That only makes the horses that come here for training better.
You mentioned that you have been training a lot of horses and that you're a trainer now. And I've heard about hotshot horsemanship. So tell us about hotshot horsemanship.
Yeah, so we started Hotshot Horsemanship 4 years ago, my husband and I, Blake, and I have been training for a little while, not shooting horses, but I've been riding and training horses since I was like 12, 13, just for people, for fun, just to make a buck here and there and riding the colts and stuff. I kind of quit the colt stuff because there's too many other people that will do that. But hotshot horsemanship, with where we're at in the country, there's hardly any trainers up here that advertise to work on shooting horses. I don't know who the closest trainer up here is. So I get a lot of the Pacific Northwest people. I've had horses from California. I've had a couple from Utah. Got a couple from Montana. So they kind of come from all over the place. But our program focuses on shooting horses solely. When we started our program, we became booked out 2 years immediately. And now we're about 1 year. So we're slowing down a little bit, but that's still fine with me. I feel beyond blessed with that. Our program has just flourished. We've had to build more and more and more horse pens just because of that.
Mhm. How many horses do you have at one time?
I take 6 because I also am a full-time massage therapist. There's a spa that I'm partnered in Sela. And so that's what I do all day. I massage people. I ride in the morning and massage people till the evening. So, but my program is a 90-day base. I require 60-day and I recommend 90-day just so all their stuff sticks. And so the first 30 days I really focus on getting the horse where I need them to pull a gun out. And so where I feel safe, where I feel the horse is safe, right? So responsive to leg and hand pressure, moves off of my legs good, is soft in the bit, neck reins smoothly and softly, just responsive. We do a lot of dry firing, obviously, before we get the guns out. Now, some of these horses I get are horses with shooting issues. They may have been shooting a while, but they need to come here for refinement on a few things or, need something fixed while they're in the pattern. And then some of them have never shot before. We get a lot of them that are not gun broke. What we notice is a lot of the young ones who come in that are not gun broke are a lot easier to start than the ones who are older, just because they're stuck in their ways, right? They're a little bit more stubborn and takes a little bit more convincing to get used to the gunfire with those older ones. But yeah, we are booked out until, gosh, I think next October, next November, and then I just started training in the winter time, which is not really fun because we get snow up here, but I have some very awesome people that allow me to ride in their arena. So I just haul up and fill up my 4-horse trailer, ride 4 horses, come home and do it all over again. That's kind of my winter time until I hit Arizona in the spring. So yeah,
You
hotshot horsemanship has just been a blessing for us. It's been huge. And we just had our first annual hotshot horsemanship shoot this weekend, and it was a huge hit. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you are a super busy lady, and I've been seeing a lot of buzz on social media about the new club that you started. Could you tell us about Hotshot Mounted Shooters?
Yes. So it's a brand new club. We actually have 6 members now. After our shoot, we had 6 people sign up. And so we're just kind of, that's our USMS club. So United States Mounted Shooter Club. That association is starting to get pretty big up here. And we are actually the first Washington State USMS club. So it's been great. Having that different format has been lovely up here. We have a lot of CMSA shoots, but USMS is starting up here. And so it's been kind of a hit. Not much is going yet for the club, but we are really working on getting that established and getting things rocking and rolling. We're going to have a club shoot every year, and it's going to be a big one. This year, our club shoot, I was able to raise 10,000 in added money, and we paid out $13,000 to 40 people. Girl, it was crazy.
Wow.
And it next year is going to be even bigger. I'm hoping we can double that people and money. So but it was right here on my ranch, and it was just absolutely amazing.
That's exciting.
It was awesome. I'm still on a high from it. We won the buckle. Me and Callie did, and it's got my logo on it, and it says Shootout in Sela. It's just gorgeous. I can't believe we won our own buckle, but
I love it. To who, and this could be horses or people or both, do you owe some of your success in mounted shooting?
I feel like everybody owes somebody a little something, right? First of all, my parents, my mom, when I started the sport, she didn't know what she was getting into, and she just flipped the bill, and she was just like, "What the heck is this? This is crazy. I'm giving you so much money to travel." Tara, for getting me going, for getting me kind of involved, for showing me the ropes. I don't think she knows how grateful I am for her for that. Christina went well, Christina Flint, she's also a big one. Just because without her, I wouldn't have had a horse. I wouldn't have had all this stuff. Kenda was also a big start. I went down to her place a couple times with Christina in the springtime. This was years ago, and we would do drills at her place. And I do also want to give her a shout out because I think everybody's been in her barn once or twice and had her help once or twice in their shooting journey. That was at the very beginning, but at the very beginning, isn't that what gets you shaped, right? So I think everybody in my life, well, everybody in the shooting world, they know who they are. Rob Boucher, he's also a big one. He's my coach. He's my buddy. He's one of my best friends. I think people know who they are. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about how one of the things that they love is the people and how helpful everybody is. And I think everything you've talked about so far just really exemplifies that.
Yes, it's been a journey. This sport is, let me tell you what, it's so humbling. It's addicting. It's all the things. It's not only your horse that's got to be on their A game. It's got to be you too. And so it's frustrating, it's difficult, it's all the things, but it brings me back every time, right? My husband wishes I wouldn't be so addicted at times, but I can't help it.
I think we all have someone in our lives who feels
Oh
that way.
man, this is what I've wanted to do forever. Like I finally found my niche, and I feel like this is my happy place. It's been fun to watch everybody just grow and get good, and businesses grow, and all these trainers kind of pop up left and right. I don't know if you've noticed, but our sport is growing like crazy. Look at
Yes.
us at all these fairs and rodeos and these demos, and same thing, like a rodeo magazine, reached out to me at a demo that I did at a rodeo, and now we've got a shooting article in Rodeo Life magazine. So everybody's doing good things for the sport. It's really fun to watch.
You talked about your win last weekend, but what's the win that you're most proud of and why?
Oh, easily 2023 winter champion win. Easily. I was pregnant. I woke up sick every morning and still got on my horse and went and did my run. But that entire week in Arizona, we won the regionals ladies 5 class. We made the top 10 and then took a 2-day break and then rolled right into winters. And Zane, Chun, and I took the overall. Callie and I kept it clean. I remember on the last stage of that weekend, it's a pattern I did not like. And it's a pattern that has killed me many times. But I have done good on it a couple times too. So I was like, all I have to do is go out and be clean. And we were clean. And so it was just weird. I don't know if it was the good luck I had in my belly or what it was, but it was a shoot to remember. And I'll never forget getting handed the buckle in the glass case in the Montana Silversmith case. And that was my favorite win. Yeah. And then I mean, I had all sorts of buckles from that weekend. I had a beautiful cactus buckle and I had this beautiful Montana Silversmith buckle and then a ladies 5 class buckle. The payout was fine, but it was the buckle that meant the most. Because not very many can say that they've won a major, and I give that buckle to Callie.
Yeah. What about the one shoot that you don't like to miss each year and why?
I love to be in Arizona. Vegas is one of my favorites too, but I just don't do very good in Vegas. Arizona, that's a special one. Yeah, I love Arizona. It's everything about it. The venue, the people, how many people go, the weather's always good. Well, for the most part, we've had some nasty weather at times, but that's one I don't like to miss. I think Blake could go without me missing that one because it's so far away, but I like to be there.
I'm planning to shoot there this coming year because
you need to be there, girl. It's so fun.
Yeah. I mean, getting out of Colorado's weather
yes.
in January or February, whenever it is just so nice.
It's definitely one of the best shoots. I mean, it's pretty organized. It, got all the prizes and stuff. There's always a good amount of spectators there. It's just fun. That's a good major. Now, if I was to choose a shoot up here in Washington, well, of course, my shoot.
I'm adding your shoot to my bucket list now.
Right? Oh, girl, our shoot was amazing. You have to come next year. It's going to be big time. There's some good ones up here. Cashmere's a great one that's put on by the Eastern Washington Mountain Shooters. I really like that shoot. That venue's amazing. You're right in a mountain range, the Stewart Mountain Range. The enchantments are right behind you, and everywhere you look, there's just mountains that you could feel like you could reach out and grab. It's amazing. Cashmere's an amazing place to shoot. There's shoots all over around here. We're a little bit more spread out versus anywhere down south, just because there's just not as much going on up here as there is down there. We're getting better. It's getting better, but I wish it was more. I mean, just the regional shoot last 2 weeks ago, we only had 23, 24, 25 riders that showed up. I mean, also as a club president, it's important to travel and support other clubs too, So I try and make sure I hit club shoots so they can support me at my shoots and, kind of help each other out that way too. I try and sponsor as much as I can so they can have help that way too. Everybody likes a little bit more added money at their shoots.
What is your favorite pattern and what tips do you have for running it?
I like patterns. I don't think I have a favorite, Chrissy. I think any pattern with barrel turns is my favorite because Callie, boy, that little mare, she can whip some barrels. And she's not as fast as some of those top level shooters, but she makes her ground up on her turns and her cuts. So patterns where we have to cut at gates and zoom up to another gate and cut at that gate, or patterns where we have to turn a couple barrels. Because sometimes people aren't as quick as turning a barrel or whipping a barrel, right? Sometimes they take them wide, or now whether we're going towards the timeline to turn a barrel or whether we're going towards the rundown, Callie knows we still have a barrel to turn, and she's always like right there. So any pattern with a barrel in it is a Callie pattern. I can't think of the number, but it's the dice. So like it's the 5 in the middle with the barrel on top and the rundown. And that's probably one of my favorite patterns because, I mean, Callie just goes in and draws a beautiful circle and just pivots around that barrel and takes off up to the rundown and pivots around that barrel and we just run home. But any kind of pattern like that.
And that feeling when they turn the barrel like so tight and so sharp, or when they take the gate, like you said, they cut the gate. It's just like that feeling of them sending it is the best feeling in the world.
Well, and there's times, girlfriend, we'll all have to like, when I get off and, take her earplugs out and undo her cinch, I have to take my boots out and dump the dirt out of my boots because there's pictures and videos of her getting parallel to the ground, and I've taken her to a couple barrel races just for fun, and boy, we've got some awesome pictures of her just almost laying on the ground, turning a barrel. She's just so athletic and she just glides right around them. And that's also kind of what you want to. We do a lot of barrel lessons and barrel drills at home, especially with our students and at practice when we have people come over for practice and drills and stuff. We do a lot of barrel drills because you can make up so much time in your barrel turns.
What about the guns that you shoot? What guns do you shoot and why?
I shoot Ruger. That's just what I started with, and that's just what I've been comfortable with. I got a really nice action job on those Rugers, and they're really light. The guns are a little heavy themselves, but I'm happy with where they're at. I've got some new grips. I just started using Eagle grips, and those things are a game changer. I really do like those. They're just grippy. They stick in your hand. I bought the gunfighter models of the Eagle grips, and I love them. But Ruger, I just feel like you just can't go wrong. I feel like that's probably the most popular gun in the sport. I could be wrong, but I think that's correct.
That's
I
what
know
I hear.
yeah, I think people, have their preference and if something goes wrong on those guns, it's easy to get them fixed. They're just reliable. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's very, very few and far between where I have a gun issue. If anything, it's because I've been using them so much, like something like one of the pins break, but it's just from overuse. But my guns, they actually get lighter and lighter as I use them. So I've had these guns since 2014, and yeah, now I just I wouldn't use anything else if you ask me. I do need a new shotgun. My shotgun's a little ridiculous, but
I'm about to start shotgun. I haven't tried it yet. I'm excited.
it is so fun. Now, I love to do shotgun, but with Callie, she's at the age she's going to be 17, so I have to pick and choose what I do with her. And to be honest, I'd rather run Eliminator. So if I had to choose between an extra class, it would be probably Eliminator.
What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a new shooter? I know you work with a lot of new shooters. What's that one piece of advice that you think is so important for new shooters?
I was asked this question by the interview I was on with Rodeo Life magazine, and I'm going to say the same thing. New shooters are really hard on themselves. So don't be so hard on yourself. Trust the process and things take time, right? I see these brand new level ones that are so hard on themselves and, they might do good for a while and then they go to a big shoot and they get their butts kicked. It's hard because and some of those ones come from another sport. Some come from barrel racing, some come from cutting, some come from reining, and they expect a lot out of themselves and they beat themselves up when they don't do well. And then they get down on themselves. But the minute they hit like a level two, they're like, oh, it's just another miss. I'll get it next time. Or, they take a lot of the blame off their horse and they're like, yeah, I probably should have steered my horse this way, or probably should have made sure his shoulder was up going into that turn. So that's what I would have to say to new shooters is don't be so hard on yourself. Practice and trust the process and everything comes together. But yeah, ones are so hard on themselves and it makes me sad because I'm like, yeah, just give yourself a year and you're gonna just be like, yeah, I see that a lot with my new students and some of these rookies that come in and then all of a sudden things start clicking and things start working and things just start making sense and they're like, why was I so hard on myself? I hear it all the time.
I
So,
wonder what it is about that move from one to two that kind of takes the pressure off because I
right.
I definitely felt that as I moved from a one to a two, I suddenly felt less pressure. And I also now, when I was a level one, I wanted to win. I wanted to win my class because I wanted to get to the move up point. I don't know
Mhm.
why, but I was sort of fixated on the move up point. And now I'm in level two. I actually really don't care whether I win my class or not. I care more about am I clean?
Right. You're like working towards more of the correct goal, right? Like
Right.
and some of those ones, Chrissy, I mean they come out and they might miss two, but they're going so darn fast that they win their class, you know what I mean? And then like once you hit the next level, you're like, okay, I think I'm going to correct this a little bit more. I think I'm going to finesse this a little bit more. It's really funny, but yeah, I don't know what the pressure is with being a one. You put so much pressure on yourself and you shouldn't.
Enjoy the process.
Yes.
You've just started a new shooting club, and I know it's very new and you're just getting it off the ground. What advice would you give to people who are thinking about starting mounted shooting clubs?
Do it. We need more, of course, but ask. ask for help, ask people who have clubs already going. Blake and we're just kind of thrown in the fire. We were not planning on starting our own club, and I'm so glad we did, because this shoot that we just put on for our club made a huge impact and reputation for mounted shooting. And I think just go with it. Everything's gone really good so far. So, and it's only 9 months old. Our club's only 9 months old, but we're doing what we can with it.
I think it's similar to what we say about, loving people love the sport because they love how helpful the people are. And that applies to clubs too, right? Like you just said, ask for help
Yep.
because other clubs really do want to step in and help. Those clubs that have more experience, those clubs that have been doing this for a long time,
Yep.
they want to see the sport grow too. We all want to see the sport grow. So asking for help is pretty critical.
And we do want to see the sport grow. We want to see it get bigger, because whatever is going on the past few years is working.
And let's get more fun shoots for us to go to, right?
Yes. Well, and that's another thing too. Like, that's why we put a lot of time and effort into gathering sponsorships, and for our shoot at least. And we want people to come back. People see that kind of money, people see that kind of prizes, and they want to come. People see the kind of footing and, the venue, and, people want to come.
Well, we know you as being a mounted shooter, and this community and most of the people listening to this podcast are going to know you as a mounted shooter. But what's a little known fact about you that the mounted shooting community might not know?
I mean, I could probably say massage. I do a lot of massage, not only with people, but just kind of started getting busy with horses. So I've been licensed with horses now for going on 4 years. I just think I'm finishing up my third year, and kind of starting to get busy with that. So that's kind of a known fact that the shooters don't really know yet, but the community's kind of, at least in Sela, I've been doing a lot more equine massages around here, and that's kind of taken off too. A lot of competition horses. I did a lot of horses in Arizona over Queen Creek. I think I did like 18 horses in that stint of 12 days we were down there. Just, people need their horses done. Come find me.
Yeah, I always think about how when people say, I'm not sure it's worth the money, I think about how do you feel when you've had a massage? And
Oh, yeah.
is it worth the money? Do you feel like a whole new human being? Because I definitely do. So if I'm going to feel like a new human being, I want my horses to feel pretty new as well.
Right. And are you the one running, or is your horse?
Right.
A lot of the people come up to me like, Jess, my horse didn't really want to pick up the left lead today, or she was a little sticky on the right, or, like, I could feel her crossfiring in the back. Is there anything we can do for that? So that's kind of how I get approached.
So you're very busy and you're clearly very ambitious. But what's next for you? What do you have planned for the rest of this year, into the next year, or even beyond that?
Shooting is going to kind of take a pause for a little bit. We have a wedding. Blake and I keep calling him my husband, but we still need to get married. We have our wedding at our ranch that we have been getting ready for like crazy in about a month, on September 20th. So kind of getting ready for that. And then shooting will start back up after that. But right now it's all hands on deck for the wedding. And so we're putting the shooting on pause, but I will be back in Arizona, and I will be in Heber City in October, that's going to be a big shoot. And so come to that one. But kind of just getting back on the shooting slowly after the wedding. Being a mom and being a wife, you kind of have to balance things, and we're just going to slowly kind of get back into it. But next year I have a horse who's coming up. She's going to be really cool, and it's her maturity year next year. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of traveling next year. And I have a student who I wouldn't allow to join until after Worlds. So we've been practicing, getting her ready for her rookie year. And so she's going to be traveling with me.
Well, congratulations on the upcoming wedding and good luck with all of those plans. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. It really has been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Girly. And I've really enjoyed being on your podcast. I've been super excited about this opportunity. So thank you so much, Chrissy.
Thanks so much for the chat, Jessie. I love that I have yet another new friend in this sport. If you're heading to the CMSA Easterns and the Futurity and the Derby, please travel safely and have a wonderful time. I'll be having some serious FOMO, fear of missing out, because I couldn't get the time off work for both Easterns and Worlds, so I chose Worlds this year, hoping for Easterns and the Derby next year. If there are balloon killers you would like to hear interviewed, please email me on balloonkillers@gmail.com. That's balloonkillers, all one word, @gmail.com.